Boxing King Media in association with Box. So, Eddie Hearn, first thing I want to start with, the Irish Canelo you referred to him as yesterday. Do you know where you got that name from?
Well, Kevin Agyarko, from you.
Oh,
well done.
I'll take that as a compliment. I set up to sparring with him for Billy Joe Saunders when he's fighting Canelo, so I think that's where he got that from. How realistic is it that you're going to take him to Ireland and obviously headline the show there?
That has to be the plan. I mean, we haven't been to Belfast since Ryan Burnett, I think, and we'd do anything to go back there because they really support their own, and that's the kind of atmosphere we want to see generated. But you've got to be good enough and you've got to be big enough, because we're seeing now with our shows, they're all world championship shows or huge shows, so we can't just go back to Belfast with Kevin against someone. We've got to build him over these next 2 or 3 fights to hopefully at the end of the year put him in a big fight, get him into a world title eliminator or a big name, whether it's or an all-Irish fight, Jason Quigley, Spike O'Sullivan, Luke Keeler. That's the kind of fight that could start to make sense. Or a big name, Gabe Rosado, these kind of people. But I want to say baby steps for Keegan. What is he now, 11-0, 10-0. But the momentum's great. He's an outstanding talent. And of course, the longer term plan is definitely to see him in Belfast.
Is security a concern in Ireland? Because when I speak to the Irish press, they talk a lot about potential security issues there and the cost of licensing shows there as well. Is that a concern?
Yeah, there hasn't been a lot of shows in Ireland. Of course, Northern Ireland, Belfast is different. There's been a lot of shows there. We'll see what happens. We'd love to take Katie Taylor back there one day. Of course, she's going to be fighting Amanda Serrano at Madison Square Garden. But the more the merrier we can do over there. Always a great atmosphere.
Quick few things on other subjects. Otto Walling's name's been mentioned. Have talks actually started yet, or is it still up in the air?
No talks with anyone at the moment. I mean, firstly, we want to clear up the Alexander Usyk situation, which we hope to hear today or this weekend. Does he need a delay? No problem. And then we'll start talking to potential opponents for the interim bout.
Sam Jones says that the juggernaut goes through AJ like laxatives. Does he? And does that fight excite you more than Otto Walling because it's an old British Olympian type fight?
I love Sam because he's just, what he does is he falls in love with his fighters, and then as far as he's concerned, they are all Sugar Ray Leonard and Muhammad Ali in a slight mix. But I do love Sam. Look, AJ, I think he stopped Joe Joyce in 1 round in the amateurs. But Joe Joyce is a brilliant fighter. AJ would fight him in a heartbeat. Whether that can be made, I don't know. But certainly he's on a list of many to explore. So the thing is about fighting AJ, it's like, the Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, right? The golden ticket. That's what you got, yeah? So all these people are begging for the golden ticket to fight AJ. It's a bit like fighting Canelo Alvarez. You can change your life in one night. So we'll see who gets the golden ticket, and it will basically be up to AJ who decides. Like I said yesterday, for me, an interim bout while you're just waiting for Alexander Usyk doesn't necessarily look like the names that we mentioned, but for him, these are the people that he wants to fight, and he feels good at the moment, and he's excited and he's motivated, so why not?
And a quick word on Conor Benn's next opponent. He's had a bit of criticism about Van Heerden. I watched Van Heerden's last fight. I know prior to the stoppage, he did look like he was about to get took out. Obviously, he's had 2 fights in 2 years. Is he realistically on Conor's level at this sort of stage where Conor's on fire and he's...
What is Conor's level? I mean, that's the best question. Some people are saying Conor Benn's overhyped. Some people are saying he's 2 fights away from fighting Jaron Ennis. Or in Chris Van Heerden's last fight that you were referring to, 18 months ago, whatever it was, he headlined on Showtime against Jaron Boots Ennis, who I think is the best welterweight in the world. In his next fight, he's headlining against Conor Benn. That fight was ended. He was going to lose to Jaron Ennis. Of course he would. I think every welterweight in the world right now might lose to Jaron Ennis. So, we tried to make the KELL BROOK fight. We talked to other people. This is a good fight against a southpaw that Conor hasn't faced before, and someone that's game as they come. It'll be a tremendous fight and good progression before what will be a blockbuster fight for Conor Benn this summer.
2 last questions. Is it true that KELL BROOK asked for 10 million to fight Conor Benn?
Yeah.
It's a non-starter.
Just slightly.
Okay. Last question. Boxing King Media is followed by Conor McGregor and most of the matchroom fighters, apart from Eddie Hearn.
Really? I'll do that now. I'll do that on the way home.
Thank you, Eddie.
All right, mate.